Meg Barnes is a well-known actress who once starred in a wildly successful television series, and she played an amateur sleuth named Jinx Fogarty. And that means that no matter what Meg does for the rest of her life or in her career, she will be known as Jinx Fogarty. Just as I'm likely to be known as Maggie Evans, Josette Dupre, and Bunny Kay for the rest of my life. And I get it, and that's fine, and I drew on it a lot when I was writing about Meg Barnes, but this is fiction. This is not my story. This is the story of Meg Barnes, who would seem to be a woman who would have it all. She's newly remarried and second time around, very happy. She has a career that gives her a great deal of satisfaction. Lovely home, good friends. It's an enviable life until it all comes crashing down when it's discovered that her husband is a con man. And he has bilked her and her friends out of everything. When Meg loses everything, she ends up living on the streets of Beverly Hills in what she calls her Ritz Volvo. And worse than just losing all of her material possessions, it's her friends, law enforcement, and the press all think that she was probably involved in the scam, so she is truly down and out. Now, by telling you this, I'm not telling you anything you're not going to find out in the first couple of pages of this novel, because what really fascinates me is the aftermath. What happens to Meg Barnes a year later, when the paparazzi are no longer on the doorstep, and in fact there is no doorstep, and when she is dealing with the anger and the humiliation of having been stripped of everything that she has worked so hard for? How do you pick yourself up? Because what I really wanted to write is, it's a story of redemption, because I don't want Meg on the streets of Beverly Hills in her Ritz Volvo for very long. And I also want her to find retribution. There has to be that moment when she faces the man that put her in these dire straits. So there were a lot of things that made me want to write this book, and not least of which, for those of you who knew that I was a Girl Scout for 12 years, I drew on that as well, because there was nothing more fun than trying to figure out how this woman could pick herself up, how she could make something out of nothing, how she could survive on the streets when that really wasn't, I mean, she had lived in security and comfort. So there are plenty of actors, writers, directors, and producers in here. So you know what I'm saying when I say that, you know, when you got a story inside you, it starts to inhabit you. And you start seeing the world through another set of eyes. You see things that you notice in a different way, which is what happened to me when I was writing Down and Out in Beverly